Hi, my name is Katherine Maxwell. I am an Ambassador Girl Scout in Troop 2035. I am also a fourth-year film major at the Culver City High School Academy of Visual and Performing Arts. You are about to watch my Gold Award film. The Gold Award is the highest award in Girl Scouting, and my film is about the history of my hometown, Culver City, incorporated in 1917 and known as the heart of Screenland. I hope you enjoy learning about Culver City's history as much as I have while making this project. Thank you.
Well, Culver City, I think, is an oasis. I think it's an area that's in between Los Angeles and Santa Monica, and I think it's a dream of Harry Culver, who, the founder of Culver City, to create this oasis that's in the middle of this major metropolitan area.
Culver City was carved from Rancho La Bayona and also the adjacent rancho, which was established a little later, Rancho Rincon de los Bueyes. They butted up together in what is now the center of downtown Culver City, right about Main Street. Harry Culver was a Nebraska-born entrepreneur. He spent about a year in 1910 looking around to see what the area was like, and he decided that this was the perfect place to start a city. And he felt that you needed to have an economic base that would support the city, otherwise it would fail. After he saw Thomas Ince, who was a noted filmmaker, filming one of his famous westerns on Bayona Creek, he decided that he would get Ince to come here. By the 1930s, we were the heart of Screenland. You know, your major employers here have been the studios, have been Hughes Aircraft, the Helms Bakeries. So from the 30s, when we were very, very successful making movies, it's been a really important part of our economy.
Well, Raintree initially was the backlot of MGM Studios. Well, they filmed Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wynn. Then Raintree County, there's a movie with Montgomery Clift and Elizabeth Taylor that actually the complex is named after. The soundstage is a building that's usually on a motion picture lot that they use to shoot movies interior, where they actually can build a set. So at one time, MGM had their backlot, and that's where they used to shoot these amazing movies.
And then Sony Pictures Entertainment took it over, purchased it in a land swap on January 1st of 1990. You had the studio that's now the Culver Studios, which was Thomas Ince's second. That became DeMille, RKO, Pathé, Desilu, Selznick International, Laird International, Culver City Studios, the Culver Studios most recently. So we have the world headquarters of Sony Pictures Entertainment right over here at 10202 West Washington Boulevard.
I ran up to him and I said, "Hello, Mr. Schlesinger, do you remember me?" And he looked at me and he said, "No, I can't say that I do." And I gave him my name and he said, "You mean that little kid that used to run around our studio in dungarees?" And I said, "Yes, but I'm all grown up and I need a job." He said, "Well, I'll tell you, we're on vacation now, but when we come back, it'll be July 13th, it was 1936, I will give you a job." And that's how I got in the cartoon business. My first salary at Leon Schlesinger's was $12.75 for 44 hours a week. I started as a painter, filling in the colors. We paint on the reverse side, like you're painting on glass. Some took from 5,000 to 10,000 drawings, depending on the kind of picture. Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, Tweety, the Roadrunner, the Coyote, Pepe Le Pew. Bugs Bunny's my favorite because Bugs Bunny's the kind of character that's always minding his own business, and if somebody bothers him, then he gets even with them. Our first home that we bought for $11,000. with $1,000 down, and Saul was a GI, so we got it for 4%. But the freeway came after we were there about 5 years, and we had to leave. By that time, we were already aware that the Culver City school system was so good. We stayed in Culver City and came to this house in 1957 and been here ever since.
From the night we met, I've been a big fan of hers.
We had a one-room school. It was called La Bayona, and eventually Culver City had 8 operating elementary schools at its peak, and it had a junior high, and it had a high school. So we have 5 operating elementary schools now. El Marino had been closed and it was brought back, and Culver City had the first Spanish immersion program in the country.
We have a lot of diversity in Culver City. That's always been one of the strong points and the strengths, is how everyone just gets along well. We were a California distinguished school, and we were a national blue ribbon school. Sony, I think, came into the picture maybe 20 years ago, and they've been very supportive of the school district, financially and curricular-wise, in terms of sponsoring the Academy of Visual and Performing Arts and so forth. First year teaching, I had the mayor's daughter in my classroom. I knew the superintendent on a first name basis. It's just a nice community.
When I was a kid, and we used to use Culver City to go to the beach, they had casinos, and it was run by gangsters. To get through downtown was really a challenge. And now they've made it so lovely.
Well, we have the smallest main street in the U.S. Actually, Culver City ends in the middle of the street. Most people don't know that, but there's an alley, and the north of the alley is Los Angeles, and south of the alley is Culver City.
It was the first business district in town. We ended up, after World War II, with a completely different concept where you had a shopping center. That was the new thing. And so the new shopping center became Culver Center. Of course, what that meant was as that flourished, that the downtown area became less significant, and so it began to deteriorate. The redevelopment agency was established in Culver City in 1971. Culver City started out as 1.2 square miles centered around Main Street through a series of 40-some annexations, little bits and pieces here and there, to about 5 square miles. We're just under. Your population has pretty much topped out at about 40,000.
Even though we live in Los Angeles, you don't feel like you live in Los Angeles.
I love this, the idea that it's a small city. We have our own school system, which is excellent. We have our own police department. We have our own fire department. You get to know everybody in Culver City.
I love Culver City for lots of reasons. It's a calm place, it's a safe place. In the rare instances I've had to call police or fire, they're there immediately. But for the purposes of this film, I'd like to share that Culver City really rose to the occasion when I was helping my daughter sell Girl Scout cookies, going door to door, and the response was overwhelming. Thank you, Culver City.
I love Culver City because it's a small town within a big city. So you have all the advantages and the sense of community of a small town, plus all the cool things like, you know, great restaurants and theater and things like that you have in a big city, all right nearby.
I love Culver City because I love the people who live here.